Santa Sue. I'm Kaylee Kusuponon.
I'm Gabby Lingrosso, and today we will be your hosts for KSSH-TV. In this episode, a member from the KSSH team will be taking you on a tour through the robotics program. Then, we'll hear from Madame Mortine about our school's upcoming events for International Week. And finally, we're going to hear from two special guests on voter registrations. Everything you need to know as a student. Now to Gabe from the robotics room.
Thanks. Hey Santa Sue, I'm Gabe, and I'm here in the robotics room with Mr. Nebbins, who's agreed to give us a tour. So let's check it out.
So our robotics program here at Santa Sue consists of two classes, part of our engineering pathway, robotics and engineering and honors engineering. Students in that class start out by learning about electricity and electronics. And then we use this little microprocessor, which is called an Arduino. And we program the Arduino, and then we learn about electrical components by attaching the Arduino to a bunch of electrical components. We use instrumentation like this digital multimeter here to test how well the circuits work. And then we do a lot of project-based work. And the project we're working on right now is building a prototype of the Mars rover Curiosity. And we start with about 144 different parts, and then we build the robot from scratch.
All right, now that you've got a feel for the room, let's see it in action.
Yeah.
What goes on the end to prevent it from sliding?
It's a plate. It screws into this.
Do we have the plate?
Yeah, we have it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good, right? Here, check it.
Is that the final
Look,
one,
I
or do we have
pushed it
one
out
more?
further.
Our group has been focused on making the wheels for the robot we've been building. Specifically, we've had to drill holes into this wheel so we can connect it to a hyper hub that is in here connected to a motor that will eventually connect to the rest of the rover.
You have to be really precise with the drilling too.
Yeah.
So, because if you don't get the right size and if you don't get the exact angle right, you have to drill an entirely new hole on two other sides, or otherwise you're just kind of screwed actually.
We're in charge of the wires, and so we're just cutting wires to size, and then we're gonna attach like either female or male connectors. So then later, when the robot is finished, we can connect everything for like power and all and stuff like that.
We're configuring a Raspberry Pi to be able to run a ton of code that we compiled. So it'll make the big project, the big rover that we're making. We're making the Mars rover. It'll make that work and make it move, and then have it like a screen on it and show a ton of stuff on that.
Now that you've heard about the class, you should know about Santa Sue's Robotics Club. Let's hear from some of their members.
Hi, my name is Ashu Ajoji, and I'm the club president.
My name is Kaden Lam, and I'm our lead mechanical engineer.
We're part of an award-winning Santa Sue robotics team who competes in a robotics competition every year with a series of scrimmages that lead up to it.
We meet every week where we're either designing and building a robot or going out to Monte Vista and Hillside to perform our outreach programs where we help younger children learn the ins and outs of robotics. This year, we ended as a top 10 team in Ventura County and 4th overall in our region. We won the first Tech Challenge Innovation Award for our innovations in our plane holders and our nifty claw designs.
I hope you all enjoyed that segment, but before we go, we have a very special guest I think you'd like to hear from. What's it like to be a robot? This one's a bit of a stereotype, I guess, but do you have any plans for world domination?
I've got to learn how to make one of those robots. Do you think they'll do my homework for me?
I'm not answering that.
Fair enough.
Anyway, it's time for our SSHS updates. Spring Fling is on March 22nd, and the ticket price increased each week, so head on over to the ASB store. International Week will be held from April 8th to 12th. And lastly, we have Spring Break from March 25th to April 2nd, and when we come back on April 3rd, it will be a minimum day. Now, from room 407, we have a wonderful French teacher, Madame Mortine, to inform us about International Week.
Hi, I'm Madame Mortine, and for the past 14 years as a teacher here, I have been the advisor for International Club, and we host International Week, usually in the spring. So International Week will be the second week of April. Wednesday, April 10th, we will have performances, and those will be highlighting, different cultural songs and dances. Then Thursday is the day that everyone will be walking around visiting different cultural booths, country booths, and learning and maybe getting some fun little prizes and food. And then actually Friday night, we're gonna have our first multicultural community night. And so from 5 to 8, we're opening our campus to the community and doing the same sort of thing, but all together. So we'll be having booths, performances, and actually we're adding TED Talks to this one as well. And people can walk around and bring their dinner and have a picnic on the grassy quad, and sort of extending our International Week out to the community. For me, International Week is so special because it really highlights the diversity of our school, and kids get to show pride in who they are and their culture and heritage. And even if it's not their own country, like for example, a lot of kids do booths of countries that they don't really know anything about, but they want to learn about. And that's the whole point of International Week, right? Is to learn about people and things that we didn't know about from before. And also to show pride in our culture and our heritage. So I think kids should be involved in International Week. First of all, it's just fun, but also I think we learn a lot, and it's just such an open environment where kids can walk around and learn and show and share their pride in who they are, because I think that's something that's really important. So if you look at the ACE announcements, there are QR codes for you to participate in a booth or in a performance for Wednesday and Thursday here at Santa Sue, or you could also participate on the Friday the 12th and do the same type of thing, for a booth or a performance. So there are 2 different QR codes, one with the sort of tie-dye background, that's just for Santa Sue, and then the other one with the Eiffel Tower, that's for the multicultural night, but you can do both. And then also, if anything, just come and participate and learn about something that you didn't know before.
I'm really looking forward to seeing all of the booths and performances at International Week. They always do a really good job with that event. And I hope you guys can be there too. Finally, let's check out those 2 special guests here to teach us about how we can pre-register to vote.
We all know that the United States has had a rocky history in regards to people having the right to vote. In the beginning, only white men who owned property could vote. It took roughly 2 centuries for everyone to be able to cast their vote. However, that didn't stop states from enacting their own laws to make it next to impossible for certain groups of people to be able to cast their own vote, which is why it's important that we have federal laws to protect everyone's right to vote. These laws weren't just made out of nowhere, though. It was the hard work of many activists and activist groups that laid the foundation of our ability to have and exercise this right. That is a brief history of voting rights in the United States, but let's look at the present. The year is 2024, and the next presidential election is pending. So we have prepared a public service announcement from 2 very special guests.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Roth. I teach CP, Econ, and Gov, AP Research, and APUSH.
I'm Mrs. Martin. I teach AP Gov, Econ, Law and Order, and some other stuff too.
We do want to talk about the elephant in the room, that in California, we understand that a lot of people feel like their vote doesn't matter. And in the presidential election, it is kind of hard to argue that it does, because California mostly votes Democrat in presidential elections. However, the presidential election is not the only reason we vote or the only time that we vote. Our votes really, really matter at the state and local elections. They matter for your mayor, they matter for your school board, they matter for your senators and your House of Representatives. And these are the people who are making all of the laws for you and me. The federal government and the president doesn't make as many laws for you and me. It's the local people in Congress who do. So we would really encourage you to do your research and look into those positions in those offices and vote to have your voice heard.
One way you can check your voter registration status is by going online to ca.gov/registration. Just a quick note, you do need to be at least 16 years old to register, and you need to be a US citizen. You can also check all the propositions and all the other different types of elections that are happening, our local elections, at that same website.
And when you want to vote, if you are already 18, you can register to vote, again, if you are a US citizen, at that same website. So you can check your voter registration and you can pre-register to vote. The nice thing about pre-registering to vote is when you do turn 18, your ballot comes automatically in the mail to you and you don't have to remember to register to vote because you're already registered.
And another thing I wanted to mention is that you can change your political party affiliation easily online now, and you can change it at any time. You can choose a political party if you want to research those. You can also have no affiliation, or you can be an independent.
We hope that this was informational for you and that this was helpful. And if you have any questions, you can come see Mrs. Martin in room 302 or Mrs. Roth, me, in room 306.
That's all for today, Santa Sue. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and click that bell icon for future notifications. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at KSSH.TV, where we post behind-the-scenes content and some of our favorite past clips. In addition, scan this new QR code if you have any ideas for upcoming segments, and they may get chosen for our next episode. We'll see you next time, Santa Sue.